stuff. We'll make a start. So firstly, welcome to Conversations with Thought Leaders at Granite Group HQ. My name's David Webley. Nice to see familiar faces and some new ones again. Delighted to, this is our last event of the year, so thanks again for braving in a very humid, drizzly, sort of grey Melbourne day, but luckily the aircon's kicking in, and make sure you've got plenty of water and help yourselves to food, you know, as we go along. We're joined today by Sambhav Jain, who is actually a big cricket fan. We're not going to be discussing the capitulation of the Australian cricket team. Don't panic. We're talking. I've been here 20 years, and Australia's I love Australia. Australia's my second team in every sport apart from cricket, where I go for anyone against Australia, because as a child growing up in England, the Australians were so amazing and really let us know when you always used to smash us 5-zip. So, but joking apart, we're talking about, you know, it's definitely the hot topic, you know, at the moment, AI, and specifically, you know, delighted to have you here, Martech experts representing Anchora as well, and Max, who I've known for about 20 years, who's one of the founders of Anchora, and Andrew. So thanks for helping us, you know, set this morning up. Without further ado, I will hand over to you to talk about leveraging Gen AI for hyperscale personalisation. And as always, if you don't need to wait till the end for questions, just, you know, raise a hand. Let's get the discussion going, and over to yourself.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Before I jump into the topic, I'll just quickly introduce myself. So I'm currently leading Martech practice at Anchora, and my specialization is into marketing technologies, CDPs, analytics, AI, and all those things. And this field is ever changing. So when I started in this field, there were little about sending out emails, and now we are talking about Gen AI doing personalization. So I've seen that journey for our clients. That's my expertise. I'm fun-loving. I like adventure when I'm not doing Martech. I love doing those things. Now, before we jump into the actual topic, like leveraging Gen AI for hyperscale, what is hyperscale, how I can use Gen AI and everything, I have a bit of like chit-chat in starting, like what's happening in the industry, what's some news, those sort of things. So, you know, like nowadays we are talking about Netflix knows you better than you do yourself. So that's the era that we are living in. And Gen AI is taking care of so many tasks which you are doing manually, and Gen AI can do it at a very massive scale. So why not utilize that in achieving what we do for marketing? So that's what we are talking about. And before I go into this, I was just reading it somewhere. Nowadays, when you order pizza, so they do remember what type of pizza you order. But actually now they would also suggest you need to remove the olives. So that's like spying on me what I am doing. That's the real use cases we are talking about. Like there is basic and then there is advanced, like making it more personal for your customers. Before we jump into everything, let's talk about this, because sometimes our clients do ask this question. Is Gen AI going to take my job? Like, because if you will do everything using Gen AI, what will I do then? So I would say, don't worry about it. I'll address this later as well. But think of it like early days of electricity, when people thought like electricity will burn their houses. But nowadays, like it's necessity. So technology is evolving more and more on the positive side, and it's at a level where if you have proper governance, you can really make sense out of it. This one is, I don't know if you guys have already seen it or know it. So there was a medical mystery. There was a mother, and she was struggling with her son condition. He had a lot of severe pain, and she invested like 3 years, 17 different doctors, hundreds of tests, but no one was able to identify what's causing that pain. And what she did was, she, in the very end, when she came to know about ChatGPT, she went over there, entered all the test results line by line into ChatGPT, and in one go, ChatGPT identified it's a Fox-Given syndrome, which no doctor identified. So she then went back to the doctors, got it diagnosed, confirmed it medically, and then she came up with the proper treatment plan for her son. So Now, another interesting fact. So this is one thing. Right now, there is a AI system being tested which can predict your medical condition when you walk into the room. So that's the level of Gen AI, Gen AI power we are talking about. Now, with this one, uh, think of, okay, last week I think there was a tool launch, Biomed Parse, which basically allows you to upload MRIs, scans and X-rays, and it will exactly pinpoint the organ and also if there is any abnormality in that organ. So that's where science is progressing and they are trusting these technologies. So if medical can trust these technologies, it's the right time for us to start using these as well. Now, imagine you go to a doctor and you're going through a condition, let's assume, and your doctor says, according to me, I think it's this, but let me check with every other doctor on the planet what this is. So that's the power that you're getting with these Gen AI technologies. Like whole experience on the planet converted into a platform and you get access to that platform. Quick game. Tell me how many of you think left one is real or Gen AI? Just raise your hands.
Real.
Real? Okay. And how many of you think right one is real or Gen AI? Gen AI, yeah. So that's the interesting fact. Right one is real and left one is Gen AI. So AI has evolved to a level where it knows that being perfect is not good. So it's now intentionally being perfectly imperfect, if I would say. So the intent is the line between the Gen AI generated content and the real content is just diminishing. It's going away. So you can easily trust the content generated. It will be professional quality and at a fraction of cost. So that's what I'm trying to convey here. Some latest news from the industry. I don't know how many of you follow AI, but I have my YouTube channel, not YouTube channel, I have my YouTube profile where I have all these subscriptions and I get annoyed when my son watches one rhymes over there or something and my watching behavior just gets interrupted. But yeah, still I like to invest some time over there. So I don't know if you are using ChatGPT on your phone. If you are not tried, it's really nice. So what it does is it impersonates a human being. So you are actually talking to someone. Like if you go to browser and put prompts, it's all textual, but on phone it's actually a conversation. So recently, OpenAI introduced live camera feature, so which would be like basically you can point your camera to anything and it will start contextualizing that particular object and you can talk to ChatGPT about that. So that's a really cool feature. It will have a lot of use cases. Then Microsoft has recently announced its specialized agents as well as now they introduce actions. So what that could do is basically you had power to analyze lots of data, documents and everything, but you can now actually do some actions out of it. So which can schedule or automate most of your recurring tasks. So have a read about it. It's a really nice feature. Then Google has rolled out a memory feature for Gemini. So if you used to go to Gemini, it's for pro users. It will give you some information. And next time you do the chat, it will then not remember the context. But with this memory feature, you can just provide your preferences, context, and every time you do an interaction, it will be tailored for you. So that's from Google. And then Perplexity, I like this one. So you know how Google search is changing. Like nowadays when you search, it gives you an AI summary on the top. So instead of you going to individual results, it's very accurate in that summary, like you would be answered with that summary. So same thing is with Perplexity. It gives you search results in a very different way. And let's say I ask Perplexity, I want to redesign my home office. So what it will do is, it will give you that information as well as give you all the shopping options within the platform. So you don't have to go out of the platform and do shopping somewhere else. You can do it over there. So it's available to US only for now. But these are certain things happening in market. Now, because you are not doing personalizations, I would say this is time to shift your mindset. We generally call it marketing technologies. We should change our mindset to call it customer technologies. We are not reaching out to customers for marketing. We are not reaching out to them. We should try to serve them. We should try to help them. That's where the mind shift should go. And think of it like a dating app where uh, you would not like a person who is always talking about themselves. You would like equal opportunity. So same relation goes with your customer. Like you have to listen to them. You have to understand their requirements and then serve them. If we do overselling just using marketing technologies, we will not end up anywhere. So that's the mind shift that you have to understand before we jump into what is hyperscale, what is personalization. Now, some of you might have seen these numbers, but I still want to reinforce these numbers, and these are very important. 40% of people would like to actually pay more, spend more when you cater to your experience as a personalized experience. It's a key number. And it's very obvious that if you are doing personalizations, you will get better response, better lifetime, better conversion. So if you'll ask me like 2 years ago, I would say some people might say like we are not doing it, then it's fine. But nowadays, personalizations have become necessity. It's not a luxury. You need to have personalization, otherwise you would be losing somewhere. And these numbers are speaking for themselves. Now, this is something about, because see, when technology comes into market, everyone would have these concerns whether we should be adopting, when's the right time to adopt it, because things are changing. I know like when I was working previously in Martech only, every 2 years there was something new into the market. Like you know that Martech landscape, each year it grows. Like it started from 3,000 or 4,000 products, and now I was seeing this year it's more than 14,000 products over there. So the cycle was like every 1 year, 2 year, you will see some products. But with recent 2 years, Gen AI and AI and everything, every week, every month, there is something being released. Like every week you see a new model has came and claimed they have better index from ChatGPT. DeepSeek is the one which is the latest one from China, which is claiming against ChatGPT. So things are changing very fast, and if you are not adapting to it, you would be struggling with your customer experience. Now, to classify people, those are adapting Gen AI and not adapting Gen AI. So early adopters are those have already started using Gen AI early in either in 2023 or 2024. Late movers have not used it yet, and they would be doing it in 2025. So it was a survey done to those organizations, late movers and early adopters. And what we came to know is early adopters, I'm talking about the business practitioners, I'm not talking about the customers, I'm talking about the campaign managers or the CMOs or the organizations. They believe their customer experience is either exceptional or at least meeting the customer requirement. So I'm talking about early adopters. And if we ask the same question to the late movers, only 47% of them were confident that they are able to meet their customer need in terms of customer experience. So this quadrant clearly shows you the better the Gen AI adoption is, more sophisticated your customer experience would be. If you are not early adopter, I would recommend at least be fast follower, and I will cover details how you can be a fast follower. Okay, now let's understand what is hyperscale. Like you know what is personalization. Personalization is simply adding, as you said, like you are using first name, last name in the email, or maybe some relevant content regarding that communication for that individual. That's personalization. But what's hyperscale now? So when I say hyperscale, it's basically when a human is doing personalization, there are limits to it, how much I can personalize. But when I'm employing Gen AI to do that work for me, it can do it at level of millions and billions. So if I would be doing personalization for an email, I might just do first name, last name, or some content, and how many variations I can create. I can create 10 variations, 20, or let's say 100. I invest my time, I create 100 variations of the email. But if I use Gen AI for that purpose, and I feed some data about my customer, about them, their behavior and all those things, I can create millions of combinations. Let's say my base is 10 million. I'm talking about a huge banking client or someone. You can even create 10 million variations of same email. They will be personalized to each individual customer. That's the level of personalization we are talking about. That's why we call it hyperscale. The easiest way to remember hyperscale is you are actually providing a personal assistant to your customer. Think of it that way. And millions of personal assistants, you have access to them and you are providing it to each of your customer. Take an example from local gym. So we have this challenge. I get this challenge. So when we go to gym, most of the time, like after work, I will go to the gym, and between 7 to 8, it will be the peak hour. I go there and I'm frustrated, like the machine that I want to use or the space that I want to use is already occupied. So it can be a very simple use case for a local gym owner. They can combine the sensor data who is entering and then combine it with local weather and local traffic and send a notification to their customers. This height section is free for now, for next 2 hours. And see, that will increase their customer retention, customer satisfaction to a next level. So that's the power we are talking about when you implement GenAI and just combine some data. So data is not only about customer, it's also about rest of the things in the world, and then you merge them and then you can find so interesting use cases that you can serve your customer better.
So what you're really saying there is that AI will start to change human habits, because effectively most people have a schedule and they say after work I will go to the gym and I finish work at 5 or whatever it might be. So what you're now saying is actually AI can start to say, okay, well, that is my schedule. However, I will need to be more flexible, and I might now need to accept I'm going to go to the gym between 3 and 7 as opposed to after 5 and work it around. So really you're going to start to see AI driving human human habits.
One way of saying that is that like AI is driving human. I would say AI is making you more productive, because previously if you would have gone to gym your normal time, you didn't know what will be the
True.
occupancy over there. But now you can plan, okay, let me go maybe after 1 hour and then I will find more time over there and I'll be productive with my gym session.
Absolutely.
That's another way of looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also potentially going to lead to a fundamental shift in the way you lead your life to get more productive, as you say.
Absolutely. Another thing I would like to highlight from here is these product bundles at hyperscale. So you might have came across the situation. You go to Amazon, you search certain products. So I was looking for water bottle one day, and I searched multiple products, multiple brands having water bottles. Then what happens in last is, if you see the bottom section of Amazon, it will recommend you a product bundle, and that would be basically one bottle from this brand, another bottle from this brand, plus this bottle, and 3 bottles, and coming out to a total. Like, that's not the right product bundling. You need to bundle your products very contextually what your shopping behavior is. For example, if I am buying a bottle which is gym specific, like it's having a shaker and all those things, so maybe I'm interested, or maybe I'm a new person who is going to gym, so maybe more gym relevant products would be good for product recommendation. But that could only happen when you are moving away from segments, when you are moving away from rule-based personalizations, and then using Gen AI to achieve it. Now, these are certain ways to achieve hyperscale personalization. Content creation. So there was one nice use case, and it happened last year. So Cadbury in India, what they do is like they have good investment, so they can hire a big superstar and do ad for them. So they did it every time, but this time they realized that actually there are so many local vendors. They are also selling their products, and they won't be able to hire big superstars. So what can be done in that scenario? So Cadbury used Gen AI to get a video ad campaign from the superstar and then personalize it for each local vendor. So instead of saying buy it from here, it was replacing that word and perfectly syncing with the mouth of the superstar, speech of the superstar, and they created 130,000 variations of the same ad and made that person local ambassador for each of the store. So basically they launched 130,000 campaigns on social media. They got 94 million views on that campaign. So that's the power of content creation we are talking about using Gen AI. visual generation. Nowadays, real estate agents can create an image of a house in different weathers without even waiting for it because they want to show it on their property. So think of it like you have base image of the product, but you can then get perfectly personalized, not personalized, perfect photo of that product in a different condition. And you don't have to wait for a particular time or studio or something. You can just get a fraction of cost using Gen AI. Then we have smart messaging. So smart messaging is basically, think you are going through a healthcare service and there are stages to it, maybe a dentist appointment or something, and you get a message, not just your upcoming appointment or some reminder kind of thing, but you get a message which is based on your anxiety level to calm down that anxiety. So that's the type of contextual communication we are talking about here. AI assistant. If you look just 1 year back, there were AI assistant. They would ask you, what are you looking for? They will give you predefined options. You select one of them, and they will just give you documentation. And you will straight away say, can I talk to a human? There were so many memes about it. But I remember now, I was working from home and my internet dropped. So I went to the app and there's a chat option over there. I asked, like, my internet is down. Straight away, it asked me, what's your address? And I put in my address, and then it told me there's a maintenance going on in your location. Then I was frustrated why this was not communicated. Then I went to my inbox, and I could see that message was there. So I missed that message, but it resolved my query. So internet is down is a different thing. I would connect to my hotspot, but at least I'm not calling call center, what's going on, I'm not frustrated. So query resolution is increasing. It's more than 75% nowadays with AI-based chatbots. Voice interaction. I know there are so many businesses using call-based interaction. So you can actually talk to their bots and do orders. So that's the level of, and these bots can accommodate according to the way you are speaking. If you are speaking slow, fast, what type of native person you are, even they can adapt to those things, which is very difficult for a customer agent as a person, as a human. Translation. Think of it for tourism industries. Previously, they were just doing translation based on an individual giving them translation. But now, they are not only doing translation, they are also having emotional context into that message based on the local geo that they are targeting. So it's a game changer. Now they are getting global reach. And I'm not talking about huge investment on that. There are easy, low-cost tools available for this. A synthetic testing, that's another thing. So have you guys heard this? Okay, one. So synthetic testing is basically, previously we would have a large QA team, lots of people, lots of testers, so many manual testing going on. But nowadays, a small boutique, I'm not talking about a big business, a small boutique can build their new website and they can use synthetic testing to simulate different seasons, different shoppers, and then test their customer experience, how it would respond. So that's the power that it gives to any business. Liquid experience. Do you know what liquid experience is? Okay. So liquid experience is basically changing the whole layout of the website based on the user behavior. And I'm not talking about like if you go to some e-retailer, this time they will show a banner, and next time if it's a festive season, they will show you a Christmas related banner. No, not that adaptation. I'm talking about if you are just a browser or just a visitor, the website might feel completely different. But if you are a mission focused shopper, you are actually looking for a product, then the whole layout of the website would be different. So that's what liquid experience. And it's all real time. It's not like you have predefined rules. It's defined in real time when someone is going to your website. So these are some ways, think about them. Lot of content out there on internet, and feel free to reach out to us. We can give you specific use cases. So you raised this question now. Recently, Gen AI has democratized this thing. Previously, only enterprises with big, deep pockets could invest in AI and ML and then receive certain results. But nowadays, small businesses, individual businesses are able to achieve more than big enterprises. And one of the reasons is These enterprises are stuck into their complex process of approvals and not confident enough on doing things on creativity side. However, the small business, individual boutiques, they can focus 100% on the creativity. And I'm not talking about data and all those things, just simple things which can be really creative. So I would argue it's an advantage being small, because then you can leverage things in a better way. And it's not about how much data you have. I would say it's more about how creatively you use that data for your customers, for solving problems for your customers. Here are some examples. You can find a lot of them. Go to Perplexity, go to Google, and search for small businesses using Gen AI. You will get lots of examples where they are doing simple things and then generating huge impact. This is another thing. Remember, I started with the concept of change from marketing technologies to customer technologies. So this is another thought that you have to get into your mind. Move away from personas, move away from segments, and get to individuals. So think about a local trader, a local hardware store. They would do kind of personalization. Okay, this is my DIY enthusiast. This is a trading. With Gen AI, what you would do is, for DIY enthusiast, he is a Sunday painter getting ambitious, but he need detailed instructions. So from DIY enthusiast to this big statement, there are so many attributes in here, so many behaviors are there that you can then cater to his requirement. If you would just rate him as DIY enthusiast, there's a limit to it, what you can personalize, what you can offer. But if you get that description where he's a ambitious painter, he's doing it on Sunday, and he need more detailed instruction, and you add local weather data like this weekend is going to be rainy, then there are so many things that you can achieve. You can cross-sell, upsell. There are so many things that you can improve in terms of sales, in terms of interaction, in terms of retention. Left hand side is what normal personalization would look like. So if you are doing them, as you said, that's just basic, that's not hyperscale. On the right hand side, you would see what hyperscale would actually mean. I talked about liquid experience, so that's one of the key thing. Real-time price optimization based on shopping behavior. If I'm just looking at a certain product multiple times and I'm looking similar products with similar price, maybe lower price, you get a lot of insights. And in that scenario, then you can optimize the price for that particular customer. So this is another example. Search results. So people do search on websites, retailer websites, on your website, and then they would get certain results. You can actually change the content of the result based on the search key term. So I have a nice case study on that one. I will quickly go through it. But these are some of the things that Gen AI can help. If you are on the left hand side, you need to think about it. Find a way how you can move on to the right, and I will tell you how you can do it. So I call this Pulse framework. So this is from Anchora, Pulse framework. What it is, you can use it to achieve hyperscale personalization. So it has got 5 key stages. One is perceive, unify, learn, synchronize, evolve. So what is perceive? Perceive is about collecting data from your customer, offline, online, call center, social sentiment, everything, whatever you can collect. Then unify is basically combining them into single view of customer. You need to do identity resolution. You need to define identities, match them, and then create one view which you can utilize. Then learn is then implementing AI and machine learning algorithms to understand different patterns into the data, identifying what are the next best actions or predictive insights from the data. Now, once you have that, then it's time to synchronize. So synchronize is using Gen AI to curate your content, to contextualize your content according to their behavior. That's what synchronize is. And the last one is evolve. So evolve is basically you do real-time optimization. I'm not talking about optimization which is predefined and that optimization is running for months and years. I'm talking about real-time optimization. Someone comes to your website based on whatever content they have been served. Based on the outcome of it, you optimize the content in real time. So now, You might say, like, I'm already doing personalization, for example. Let's say we talk to another enterprise who is doing personalization at very sophisticated level, but they're not using Gen AI. So why I'm saying use Gen AI? These are the benefits, and you can achieve them with the normal personalization as well. But what you could achieve with hyperscale is, again, the scale of the benefit that you get. So think about it. It's exponential growth or exponential outcome that you will get if you would be using Gen AI versus a normal personalization that you would be doing. So this is some nice outcomes. Now coming to the part that you asked for, every power comes with responsibility. And because this space is growing so much in terms of everything being released and European standards, like most of the countries are coming up with more and more laws regarding AI. So these are some industry-wide best practices that we have came across. You should be using. This number, 79%, this is really interesting number. And what it tells you is 79% of customers are concerned about how organizations, how enterprises would use their data. And it's 79%. So it's a huge number. But another interesting fact is 90%, more than 90% of those customers are willingly happy to share more data if they see real value in it. And I call it a Netflix effect. Like, I know when I create a Netflix account, initially I would just watch some things, and then later on it will track my habit and give me recommendations. Those are just bang on. Like, whenever I log into Netflix, I will convert to a particular recommendation easily. And I have two subscriptions. You might have more. I have Amazon Prime, I have Netflix. When I go to Amazon Prime, it's so difficult for me to find the relevant content over there. I would keep searching and I wouldn't find anything. But when I log into Netflix, the very first 2-3 recommendations, I would love them. So if you provide value in something, in value to your customer, and they understand that, there wouldn't be any concern from the customers that they are sharing more data with you. However, as a leader in your organization, as a person who is responsible for using Gen AI, you must address those 79% customers. And what are the ways to it?
Just a quick question. You've mentioned Amazon a couple of times, first to do with the water bottles and now with Amazon Prime. So do you believe that Amazon are behind the 8 ball on their generative AI?
It's a mix. I would say it's a mix. I have a case study from Amazon, which is perfect. And so if you talk to me regarding shopping experience, I prefer Amazon most of the times because of their delivery experience, their product recommendation is as well. But there are certain things that they can improve. However, Amazon Prime, I would personally say they need to improve a lot.
Yeah, interesting.
What is responsible Gen AI implementation? You need to think about these key things. One is data privacy and control. Whenever you are capturing consent, whenever you are capturing data, make sure you are clearly articulating where the data would be used, proper consent mechanism. Yes, user is aware. It's not like something hidden in very bottom, like you just click on it and you give all the consent. Be very clear. IP protection, there have been a lot of breaches. Some tool has been launched, some model has been launched, and later on we came to know like the data used to train the model was not ethical, was not licensed. So make sure whatever investment you make, they are using the models in an ethical way. Custom model governance, whenever you are training, fine-tuning, refining your model, make sure you use your own data, proprietary data. Just don't go search data on internet and feed it into the model. Transparency, as I said, it relates to the first one as well, but the first one is more about making it very clear in terms of consent. This one talks about making it very transparent how you would be using the data. So if your customer knows this data would be used here, they would be happy to provide it. And then the last one is continuous validation. Humans are not going away. Your job is not going anywhere. We would need people to do more creative, more relevant tasks instead of just creating 100 variations of emails. So have a check in place where you validate the output of Gen AI. It should be according to brand consistency. It should be according to compliance. It should be serving real value to your customer. That's what the validation you would need to put in place. The easiest way, if you are not sure where to start in your organization, we recommend this approach: inform, educate, ideate. So inform is do your research, what your competitors are doing, learn about these technologies, and then educate your peers, educate your team members, educate your organization about it, like this is what is happening, our competitors are doing this way, and then finally ideate. Look where your customer pain points are, get some use cases and find some quick wins, and then go forward from there. So that's the best approach, I would say. If you're not sure where to start, you can use this approach.
We've got a few minutes left as well.
Yeah. So I'll quickly go through some case studies. So this is one of the work that we have done recently. This is one of major airport. So what we did was they were sending out email campaigns using a marketing automation tool, and their process was multiple ad hoc campaigns were there because of the nature of the business. And the campaign manager would sit over there, get the requirement of the content, then go to the tool, design that content, and then send out the email. So we started implementing Gen AI features over there. So basically from subject, pre-headers, even the content, we started using Gen AI to curate that content and then deliver it. We immediately saw the go-to-market time was reduced in terms of like if they were doing it previously within a week, they were able to achieve it within a day or two. There would be certain checks over there, but it was a drastic change in terms of go-to-market time. And there was increase in the conversion as well, because when you are doing it, as I said, like you would be limited to your capabilities, but when you are using Gen AI, it can do much more and also get access to what rest of the world is doing. This one another work that we are doing with a major telco. So we are implementing chatbot with them, and we have 3 phases. So generally people do see the chatbot as customer service channel, but what we are doing here is we look to convert that channel into a sales enablement, because people are coming to a chatbot, providing you information, you know what their preferences are, and you can easily upsell. So that's a future phase. Initial one are similar, I have already talked about them. So this is the one Amazon thing that I was talking about. If you go to Amazon, what they are doing is you search for table for 2, and they are doing real-time product title variations based on the keywords in your search. So if I type table for 2, they would change the product title, round white dining kitchen table for 2 people. That gives me immediate conversion to that particular product. And it's not predefined. It's basically using Gen AI, deciding what's the right place to put that particular. Like if you would do it based on rules, you might just end up doing it in start or end or somewhere in between. But Gen AI can actually make it more humanly. So this title doesn't look like it's added like 2 people just in between. It's at the right place. So you are basically doing optimization of your search result based on the keyword in real time. Really nice use case, and it will reduce the friction to conversion. I'll quickly go rest of them. So this one is really nice one that I want to talk about. Nike in South Korea, they launched, it's Never over there, a retailer website. So you go there, search for Nike shoes. Generally what would happen, like you will see some banner from Nike, some shoes over there. But what they did is they introduced a chatbot service just next to their banner. So you can actually go there and ask, tell me more about this shoe, or tell me more about the offer that's running. So they did a pilot, and it straight away gave them 20% more conversion and click through, and they have made it live. So if you go to their website, it's live over there. There is some Netflix example, like using selling same movie to 2 different people just by changing the thumbnail. Movie is same, one is looking as romantic movie, one is looking as war movie. So again, easy conversion. You asked this question, how much information, but I would relate it to some way. Don't worry about how much personalization you are doing, because look at this example from Nutella. They did it years back. They created 7 million unique labels for the jars, and no 2 labels were same, and every single jar was sold. So look at the scale, get inspired from here. Key takeaways, these are like transform your mindset. As I said, move away from persona, move to customer technologies, leverage Gen AI at scale. Pulse framework, I gave you a nice analogy to find a partner so you can remember. Then privacy and trust first, so always use it responsibly. See, right time to enter to Gen AI was yesterday. Second time is now. So if you are still not sure, get in touch with us. Do your research. Go out. Do competitor analysis. You'll find lots of things over there.
Cool.
That's it.
We're about out of time, but I would just say, having spent 30 years helping people with their careers, don't despair. The AI is an opportunity just to really, for humans to move up the value curve. You've got to remember the Industrial Revolution, Edison, Henry Ford, they all face a lot of naysayers. So it's actually an opportunity that even, elderly folk like myself can embrace. So I think this is an opportunity, and we shouldn't despair, although technology is clearly moving exponentially. We'll send out the notes for today. Just one quick announcement. This is our last ever event at 50 Queen Street, because as of January, we'll be moving up the road to 107 Elizabeth Street. We'll send out notification. So we've been here for 15 years. So thanks to so many of you here today who've supported our events over the years. And we've got some new nice digs that we look forward to showing you all too. So future events, note to self, do not come to this office because there won't be anyone here. Sambhav, and thank you all for making the effort to come on, this humid morning. Sambhav, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Quick round of applause and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.